yeah, let's go. So this topic is about updating data. Updating data, that means actually changing the data that's in the database. And so the main things that we're going to talk about here is we do have an update command. And the update command is quite different than the insert command. You've used an insert command before. Of course, insert command can change the data in the database, but what it does is it adds a record or adds parts of a record. So it's adding something new. That's why it's insert. Update would be changing something typically. So we're going to take a record and we're going to change part of it. That would be update. So it's a little bit different. Delete. Now, delete, we've got, I don't want people to be confused here because delete is not the same as drop a table. If you want to just get rid of a table, you can say drop it. Deleting, what it will do is it works kind of like a select command. That is that it works with certain rows and certain columns. So you can delete parts of a table. So it's so we say delete from this table where we have these situations. I wouldn't say it's different rows, different columns, but yeah, different rows. So we can delete different records in our table. So let's admit everybody that's in the waiting room. Apparently there's some people there. Yeah, so the update command has a couple of parts to it. It's not just update on its own. We have to say update, and then we use a set. And the commit and rollback, I'm not going to speak about them in great detail because they only work with multi-user databases, and you won't be using any multi-user database in any practical sense in this course. But so it's just there for you to know that if you had an industrial multi-user database, you can't have two people trying to access the same record at the same time. So we have some way of doing that. So we sort of grab a record, okay, and then we work on it, and then we commit. And before there's a commit, the database system will check to make sure nobody else has grabbed that record, and it won't let you update it if they have, or else it'll throw one of them off. And then if you get thrown out of you tried to grab a record and you get thrown off the record, you will be rolled back to the previous database. You can do that. Okay, so that's the commit and rollback. As I said, we're just going to raise it as that idea. The idea is that we don't want two people trying to grab the same record at the same time. Then you end up with a database that's out of that is incorrect. All right, so the first one there is the update. Update doesn't work by itself. Update works with a set command. You must have the set command. So the update is going to name the table that you're going to update. Then the set command is going to name what column is going to be changed. And then you're going to use a where to say what you're going to change this column when, why, or how. And so here's an example. We're going to update this. Here's a table. The table is called level 1 customer. We're going to change one part of the record, one column in the record, but only this record. Now, if we didn't have that where part there, then what it would do is it would change the records of all the records and make them all season sport, which would be a bad idea. So you're typically going to have your update command is going to have a where, and it's here we're using the primary key to make sure that we only get that one record. That's a good thing. Here's another example. So we got in this case, the where condition is going to be, well, we're going to change it because the credit limit, we got a new rule or something, but it only applies to this one record. So we're going to change the credit limit to 8,000 when the balance is less than the credit limit, but only for this only for this customer, or sorry, only when they're represented. Oh, look, it's not a particular customer. It's only when that customer has this representative, and only when their credit limit is less than this. So this could be multiple customers, but they would be, all of them would have the same representative, and all of them would have a balance which is less than the credit limit. The insert command, we've already used that. That was lab 1 and 2. That adds new records to our database. The select command, we've already used. The insert command, there's an example of it. Now remember, now this one here, we haven't used an insert command just like this before. This is different because it doesn't actually say the names of the fields in which you are going to insert, in which case it would take the default, which would be how the table was created, and they would have to be in the values would have to be in the order that they are in the as the table was created. if you did put the fields, which would be a bracket like this, and then the field names, but before the values, then and you can go back to our previous videos and see that. Then you can change the fields around in the order, and you can leave some fields out. But in this case, what it's going to do is it's going to add a value to every one of the fields in the order that they are in the structure of that table. Auto commit, it's default. So that is that when we update the database, it commits it automatically. And again, you don't have to worry about this too much because that's for a practical thing that we don't do. So I'm not going to go through that in great detail. The delete command works like a select command, and maybe you should use a select command to check on the table before you go doing a delete. But it's a delete's not going to remove the table or anything like that. It just removes some rows from the table when they meet a certain condition. So that's why it has the where. That's going to be the condition that's going to be applied before you do the delete, and only those rows that where that condition is true will be deleted. If so, delete. Now, if you said delete from customer one, then all the rows would be deleted if we didn't have a where statement. So the where statement, remember, just like in the select statement, where the where clause in the delete statement, just like the where clause in the select statement, if you don't have it there, then all of the rows are affected. So you'd want to put a where in there so you only delete the ones that you want. So if you wanted to delete all the records from a table, you could just say delete from and then the table name and put a semicolon. That would delete all the records. But the table wouldn't be deleted. The table would still be there. It just wouldn't have any records in it. However, if you want to get rid of the table, then you just use drop. And you can use drop table. You can use drop an entire database. But if you drop it, that's it. It's gone. So drop is kind of the opposite of create, and delete is kind of the opposite of insert. So we insert when we want to add records to our table. We delete when we want to remove records from our table. We create when we want to make a new table, and we drop when we want to get rid of that table completely. Dropping will get rid of the table and all of its records. And that is the summary of what you were supposed to know today. So that wasn't too much, I don't think. You do have to do this lab 3. And so in order to do lab 3, I have given you, and you'll find a link on, if you go on the I can't seem to let me get down here because I'm going to create all these tables. So if I go here and go up, yeah, that'll work. So copy that. And go to our, so if I go to SQL, and start on that, and I create those tables. So those tables are there now. There's a few things that you're supposed to do in this lab 3. This is where you're if you look at it here, you've got a few things you're supposed to do. This one here I actually made a video about. That's the 2 tables joined by the same order number. So you can have a look at that video. I won't do that again, but it's there for you. There's other ones there, each order placed on a certain day. So when you look at something like that, you'd say, oh, well, there's a where clause there. The where clause includes the date. Whenever you see a date like that, you're going to have to be careful because there's multiple different date formats. Make sure you get the right date format for the way the data is stored. And you'll know the way the date is stored, that's in the orders table, right? So if we, for example, we can see that by, okay, so select star from orders, and we can see how the date is. So there's how the date is. What it has is it has the year, then the month, then the day, and then it's got a time. And actually, if I look at that here, sorry, make that a bit bigger. So if I look at the order date there, I can see the actual type of data. So we talk about data types, and there's multiple different dates formats, date and time formats. And this one is called date time in brackets 8. So meaning that it holds 8 characters worth of data. So that will allow you to fit in the whole year as a 4-digit thing, and then 2 digits for the month and 2 digits for the day. And then we've got some stuff for time. So that's the way the data has been stored in this table. So um, that would mean if I want October 23rd, 2010, the way that I would write it would be 2010-10-23, like here. All right, so let me have a look at that. I've got that in. So this is lab 3. No. Can't believe I'm showing you this stuff, but hey, yeah, what the heck. So question 1, that was the joining of the 2 tables. In this one, there's the format for the date. So you have to get that format right? So it starts with the year dash the month, then the day, and that's the kind of date that we've stored. Now, what else can we see in here? I hope this is familiar to you now. The customer number is found in 2 tables. It's found in the orders table and it's found in the customer table. So if we want to present the customer name number in our results, we have to say which table did it come from. So that's why we're saying here customer number. What else we got there? We got the order date and the order number. They obviously come from the orders table because that's the only place that they're found, except for in the order line table. But it seems we don't have anything from the order line table. The customer name comes from the customer table. So the one which is found in both tables is a customer number. And so, of course, we're going to use that to join the 2 tables. So we say here the customer number from the orders table is set equal to the customer number from the customer table. That makes the join. That's one way of making a join. There is another way. And people who've done a little bit of Googling and looking around on YouTube, and that will find that there's another command that we can use to join the table. And there's an inside join, there's an outside join. There's a lot of stuff. I mean, SQL is a deep subject. You could study it a lot more than we are. We are very short sort of thing, 3 labs. It's kind of quick, and it's just really skimming over the surface. And so I tried to give you the easiest way of possible of doing a join, which is just to set the primary key of one table to the equal to the foreign key in another table. So that joins the 2 tables. This and here, that ensures that we only get the records from that particular date. And we need to mention that there's 2 tables involved in that query, and we need to choose the record set, the fields that we want. And so, excuse me, sorry. If I run that, then we'll see here's all of the details that command asks for, which is the customers who had an order on the date, which was the 23rd of October 2010. So that's how that works. I don't know if I should go through too many more of these. One which could be kind of fun to look at, I suppose, I think is this one number 4. That's kind of fun. Actually, let's look at number 5, because number 5 is the same as number 4, but the difference is that number 5 actually has a sort in it. We don't use the word sort in SQL. We use the word order by, or the clause order by. And so how does that work? If we look at that one, that's number 5. Go and quickly look at how we do number 5. So we've got 3 tables, not 2, 3 tables. See the 3 tables: orders, order line, and part. We need to make all of those. Well, how's that going to work? The part is found in the order line. So the part table will have to be joined to the order line table using the part number. And so that happens here. From the part table, the part number is set equal to the order line table, the part number. All right, so what's the other part of it? All right, so the order table has the date and stuff in it. The order line table has a part in it, but the order table has a date in it. So we need both the order table and the order line table. Well, how's that going to work? Well, but the order table and the order line table both have the order number in them. So the order number in the orders table is going to have to be set equal to the ordered number in the order line table. And then we're going to show the data, what we're going to have. We're going to use the order number, but we can use that from either the orders table or the order line. Doesn't matter. In this case, we're choosing it from the orders table. We're going to get the order date. We don't have to say what table that comes from because it only comes from one table, the orders table. The part number, well, that's found in both the order line table and the part table. So we have to say which one. And again, it doesn't matter which one, but we'll choose it from the part table. The description comes from the part table and the class comes from the part table. And that gives us this. The At the bottom, we did the order by, so they're going to be sorted by their class. Now sorting can be ascending or descending. Ascending means you start from small and go to big. Descending means you start from big and go to small. I better copy that again. Let's try again. And run that. And what we get is a whole lot of, so let's look at how that works. So what we've done is we sort it by class. I hope you can see the sorting there, right? AP, and then HW, and then lastly SG. So it is sorted by class, but we've got all of the orders for AP. They come first. And yeah, I guess they're not in any particular order, but they would be in the order that they're found in the order line of the orders, except for we've sorted them by AP first. So within the AP, we could sort them again. We could do a sort. We could do two sorts. Yeah, I mean, I could do that. All we would have to do is say, okay, well, I want them sorted by part number. So we could say, let's sort them by class and then by I think yes, part number. So let's run that. And what we see is now we've got them so that the part number, okay, so we've got two sorts happening at the same time. And I think I talked about this in a previous lesson. So now they're in the order of their part number within their class. We could sort them by the date. Oh, except they're all on the same date, right? Oh, no, they're not. No, they're not. So we could have done that instead. Instead of this, we could have sorted them by their date. Or a date. Let's run that. And yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of fun. Sorting is kind of fun. I don't know if I'm going to go through too much more. You probably had a pretty good look at it already. So I think I'm going to stop that. Questions? Good afternoon, Abraham and everyone. So let's stop the share now. Any other questions? Wasn't that fun? I'm going to also stop the I don't know how. Where's the Wow. Any other questions on that? Because if not, I'm going to end the meeting soon. I think I might end it now. Why not? All right. Thanks, students. Good luck with that.